Hi everyone, welcome. It's FPLMattDay here, and I'm back with a deadline stream ready for this double game week 24. If you are new here, be sure to hit the subscribe button, give the video a like, and get any comments, questions, and thoughts in ahead of an absolutely massive double game week that is coming. Obviously, had some big news over the last 24 hours with a potential double game week. So it's just got very, very interesting. Get any comments or questions in as well and give this video a like. I'm going to share a screen shortly. I'm going to go through the fixtures for this week. Then I will discuss the best captain picks, the best transfers, and the best strategies for game weeks 24 and 25. So let me share screen. Let's share that screen now. What I might even do as well, whilst I'm sharing screen, might even change this to, did it go Villa? So it filters it like that. Okay, we're not going to filter by team. We'll bring up the whole spreadsheet rather than filter by team. Let's bring that back out. And what I'm going to do, just going to edit the YouTube name of this video just while I'm on here and whilst we wait for people to come in on the stream and get any comments in or questions for this massive game week ahead of us. Double. The title was too long now. There we go. AM chip, triple captain. All right, just going to quickly change the title of this. If you've got any questions whilst I'm just doing this title, get them in the comments. Big game week, double game week with another double game week in 25, which I'm about to talk about. There we go. That's all done. All right. What I'll do is I'm just going to post this link on to Twitter now to a lot of my users. All right, let's put this on. If you've just come into the stream, get any comments or questions in ahead of this week's double game week. I'm going to do my review and analysis. I'm just quickly getting a couple of links out. So I'm just going to put this online. Live now below. PSB, hope you're good, mate. Hope you were good, mate. I'm just literally posting my link out now so people can see that I've got the stream out. But I'm doing well, mate. How are you? Let me know. And this is what the main topic of this is why I've done a live stream tonight, mate. This is one of the main topics. All right, I'm just going to quickly post this, mate. Now. Okay, double game week 24 and 25. Join now. All right, I am. All right, I'm back, everyone. All right, here we go. It's an interesting one, mate. Let me know what you think. Your sort of reasoning is to using the assistant manager chip for this game week. Which manager? Slot, Moyes? Are you then going to look at changing it in game week 25? I'm going to give my thoughts on it soon during this stream. I think as well, I've got some initial thoughts with the Assistant Manager chip. Such a powerful chip. I think it's definitely thrown a spanner in the works, especially with this double game week that we've got on the horizon. And I think it can really just depend on your team. Like if you've got Gakpo, Trent, Salah, I think you're quite good. If you've got the Van Dijk, Trent, Salah, you might be able to sacrifice the Van Dijk and then bring in a slot because he's probably going to be more powerful than having a Van Dijk. But we will talk about it soon because it can all depend on how this EFL Cup goes. But yeah, good to hear you're doing well, mate. Looks like you've been having a good FPL season. Mine kind of went a bit off the rails over the last month, but that can all change in the next couple of weeks. But yeah, give this stream a like, subscribe if you're new, get your questions in. So Varen's asked Gakpo to Vissa to bring in slot for a -4 or bring in Moise for free. I'd keep Gakpo. I just think he's in good form. I think if Liverpool are going to win these games and get the points, this is how you've got to look at it as well. People are putting slot in for this double game week because they think there's a chance Liverpool are going to win these fixtures. So if they win these fixtures, you're looking at probably 8 to 10 points, okay? So for them winning these fixtures, you're probably going to get goals out of Gakpo and Salah. So if Gakpo scores in the Bournemouth game, Liverpool win the fixture, probably looking at about 7 to 8 points there if he just gets a goal. And if he scores again in the game against Everton, 7 to 8 points. Then Liverpool win in the Cup and they get that next double. For me, like, you're better off utilising the Liverpool players now. In these are difficult fixtures for Liverpool. I think you're going to get more of a maximum benefit from an Emery in game week 25 and a Ange Postecoglou or a Marco Silva in game week 25 as well, personally. Salah's got a good record against Bournemouth. He's done well at Goodison Park down the years. I wouldn't move Gakpo on his form. I know there's a lot of craze for it. There's a lot of people wanting to do it, but I can also see I look at even my team. I've got double up in Liverpool's defence. I don't really like it right now, even though they're the strongest defence around with Arsenal's. And I don't love it, but I also think if Liverpool do beat Spurs in the Cup and they end up with a double and you've got safety points, I still think I'd be so tempted to want to transfer slot to Emery because I just think Emery's got such a high ceiling with the Ipswich game, but then even if he gets a draw in that Liverpool game, and if he can win that Liverpool game at Villa Park, he's got potential to get like 19 or 20 points. And then I'd be tempted to then make the move the following week, if you activate Assistant Manager in 25, to an Ange Postecoglou, especially knowing that in game week 26, I think, 27, Spurs play City at home in a midweek. They've got a good record in that. City have got a horrible fixture on coming up with Real Madrid twice. And I think you can potentially get like a 20-point haul out of Postecoglou that game week. That's just my thoughts, but it's a tricky one. I think if I, in my own team, hadn't made a transfer last week and had 2 Liverpool players right now, I would be preferring to go slot. But it's all team dependent as always. PSB says slot for him. Next week's slot as well, provided Liverpool double, then RVN or Arteta in 26. I don't mind that Ruud van Nistelrooy one. Let's quickly see who Leicester play in game week 26, actually. It's not a bad move. Brentford, mate, I actually did see that fixture. I don't 100% trust Leicester, but if they can pick up... I know they beat us and beat Spurs the other day, who were on horrible form, but if Leicester can show something in this Everton game, then yeah, I could be tempted to that one. I get it. I like it, mate. Liam, welcome to the stream, mate. Allison to Pickford then, or use slot as an AM. That's the other side. This is where I'm saying it's team dependent. I think Pickford brings you as much upside as Allison for this game week. So it's not the worst sideways move. All right, let's delve in a bit deeper now. I'm going to zoom in to this week's fixtures. I'm going to go through this week's fixtures, and then I'm going to talk more about some strategy. So, which I did kind of give a bit of a run through then. So we've got Liverpool versus Everton and Bournemouth. We've got Arsenal against City, Villa against Wolves, Everton against Liverpool home, Leicester home, Fulham against Newcastle away, Spurs Brentford away, Chelsea West Ham, Ipswich Southampton, obviously Southampton Ipswich, Palace against United away, Brentford home to Spurs, Forest home to Brighton, just mentioned United against Palace, Bournemouth against Liverpool, Newcastle against Fulham, West Ham at Chelsea, Brighton at Forest, Leicester at Everton, Wolves at home to Villa, and City away to Arsenal. So that's the fixture analyzer. Let's go into this assistant manager points. Game week 24. Tricky, so they've not actually got the predicted points in for... Oh, they do, if they double. Okay. Let's do a Slot versus Salah. So, Slot has a predicted points of 13.1 against Everton and Bournemouth. If Liverpool beat Spurs in the Cup, they have a double game week against Aston Villa away and Wolves home in game week 25, which would mean Unai Emery has a double game week against Liverpool and Ipswich in game week 25. If Spurs win or draw against Liverpool in the Cup, they will have a double game week in 25 at home to Man United, away to Fulham. Marco Silva will have Forest and Spurs at home, giving him 13.1 predicted points. Postecoglou 9.5. If Arsenal win against Newcastle, Arteta will have a double game week in game week 25 against Leicester away and Chelsea at home. And Maresca, who's gone a bit quiet lately, will have a double game week against Brighton and Chelsea. He's only got 5.5 predicted points. That's a really tasty one because Brighton haven't been on the best form of late. And then Arsenal could be maybe 5 places above Chelsea at that point. So there is a lot to think about in this. Let's go to Slot, the cover star of this week. Okay, we're going to compare Slot to Salah. Slot's got 13.1 predicted points against Everton and Bournemouth, and 13.8 points against Villa and Wolves. Emery, 13.2 points. So there's not much in it. If anything, Slot's got a better points prediction here, doesn't he? So let's note that down. So we've got Slot, 13.1 predicted points against Everton and Bournemouth. Seems quite a slim margin. Like I'm going to say my personal prediction is 9 points for Slot against Bournemouth. 10 points. I'm going to say 1-0 win Liverpool. Or 2-1 win Liverpool. They get the win, late goal. That's what they've been doing lately. And I'm going to say 10 points against Everton. I think they win that game. They're predicting 13.1 in the algorithm. So let's go to some player profiles. Let's see what Salah's got. Okay, so Salah's got 14.9 predicted points against 13.1. So 14.9. So if these algorithms or whatever else come true, you're going to get more points from a triple captain this week out of Salah than you are out of Slot. So let's go to the predict. And then next week, you expect to get more points out of Slot than you are Salah. Let's go to Gakpo. Okay, so he's got less. Okay, so does Alexander-Arnold. Let's have a look at defenders. Let's see what Van Dijk's sitting at. He's a bit of a conundrum for a lot of managers. See, he's not got the most. You're going to need a set-piece goal out of Van Dijk in these next 2 games. Because I can't see them keeping 2 clean sheets if you're going to have a big week out of him. For me, I think if you've got 2 Liverpool defenders and Salah, you can make that move. Let's filter this between. Let's go to Liverpool, Everton. See if we can get Liverpool and Everton in here. Also, if you're in the stream, please get a question in the comments. Give the video a like and subscribe if you're new. Okay, it didn't work. Let's go to Everton. I want to see what some of the points predictions are for Everton. Okay. So there's a lot of people making this move here. Van Dijk to Mykolenko. He's got 5.9 points predicted over 2 games. Also, a lot of people are forgetting there's an FA Cup game in between this as well. In between the 2 games. There's a lot that can happen. Which probably makes Slot or Moyes more attractive because they are going to be in the dugout regardless. So you've got Mykolenko, Ndai, Pickford. Let's go to the assistant manager points prediction for Moyes. 12.3. So it's the ceiling's higher the predicted points is higher on Slot, but the ceiling's higher for Moyes. If he gets a win or draw against Liverpool, there is a huge swing there. So yeah, really tasty stuff. I think the points potential for the assistant manager is just too much. It's too high. I like the idea of the chip, but I think it's something where you've almost got to run it for a season and do 1 point for a draw, 3 points for a win, no points for a loss, and kind of leave it there. Or maybe 5 points for a win if you're a manager in the bottom half or something like that. It's a tricky one. But I'm going to tell you what my favorite strategy is in a second, and how I see it. I'm going to answer PSB's question. What do you think about Digne? Do you think he starts next 4 to 5 games? Well, let's put him up, mate. Let's put him on the points predictor. Also, if you've got a team and you want me to rate it, give me your FPL ID and I'll put it into the algorithm and we'll rate it. Let's do some player points prediction. Let's do Digne. Well, let's do Aston Villa. And then I'll give you my thoughts, mate, once he's up. Okay. He's got some. So you want to know for the next 4 to 5 games. So you want 24, 25, 26, 27. Let's put him up to 28 for you. Okay, so over the next set of game weeks, you get 21.2 predicted points. It's not bad. 3.9 against Wolves, 6.2 if you get the double in 25. 3.9 against Chelsea, 3.6 against Palace, 3.6 against Brentford. Let's compare him to, say, Maatsen, who's probably his direct rival. He's got 0.5 because he's obviously not getting the moves. Okay, so what do I think about him? Mate, I think he's a good asset. Gets forward, takes a set piece. Emery seems to be favouring him. If Villa don't win in the FA Cup against Spurs at home, which I think is a possibility because we've got a great record at Villa Park. Villa have the Champions League to think about as well going forward. I think Villa will play Maatsen in the FA Cup game, which for me makes Digne a lot safer. If Villa stay in the cup, actually, then it might actually be better for Digne because I think Maatsen goes Champions League. He's got that European experience with Dortmund in the past. And I think he gets cup football. And I think it actually might keep Digne a little bit safer. But in terms of Villa's actual defence, mate, I don't like it. I've owned Martinez for so long, mate, and they just get wiped. Their clean sheets wiped out so much. If you're going to go down the Villa route, I would say try and get your Watkins, Rodgers, Emery. Watkins, Rodgers, I'd even be looking at more of like I know it sounds a bit crazy, but I'd probably even be looking at more of a Tielemans pick at 5.5 million, just someone completely different. Digne, he has been getting the starts. Do I think he starts next 4 to 5 games of Villa? In the league, I'm going to say I think he's got 85% of the minutes. I would only do it, mate, if you're confident Liverpool knock Spurs out this week, which I would say, even as a Spurs fan as well, mate, I'd say there's an 85% chance that happens despite Spurs 1-0 lead. And I prefer, let's put Digne, 21.2 predicted points in that time against Mykolenko. So we've got 21.2 against 17.1. I don't like this double game week for Everton at all, mate. So if I'm going to pick between Digne and Mykolenko, it's Digne. But I do prefer Van Dijk over the next couple of weeks. But if you're going to go at AM, then you've got to go slot. So, I think there's some potential for Digne at Wolves as well, mate, with an assist. But a clean sheet, they're just so hard to come by with Villa, mate. Like I've hated owning Martinez and their defenders. So, interesting one, mate. Hope you're good as well, mate. Let me know your strategy. Are you thinking triple captain, assistant manager? Are you going to save your assistant manager for Ange? I know you've been a big fan of Ange, even though we've been losing a lot of games. PSB hates the odd Digne benching at times and gets hooked. Yeah, it is frustrating, mate. Let's have a look at their fixtures outside of the Premier League, because I think that plays a big part, mate, for Villa, between this Mats and Digne sort of stuff. So when they played Celtic in the week, Digne got come off after 75. So Wolves away, Spurs in the Cup, then the Ipswich game, which would then be followed by the potential Liverpool game. Yeah, and then Chelsea. Yeah, Palace. I'll tell you what, I think you might lose him for the Palace midweek game. Because after the Chelsea game in game week 26, 27 then falls in the midweek. So that could be where you lose him. Digne is a better asset than Mykolenko, though. 100% for me. I don't care about the double game week this week. I think if you can get a goal out of Leicester and it wipes out Everton's clean sheet today, and Mykolenko stays quiet, you'll be looking at it thinking it's a bit of a relief, because Liverpool can score 2 or more goals at Goodison. I know what happened last season happened, but different time of the season. Yeah, good luck, mate. It isn't easy. It's hard to call. Last night's double game weeks is double announcements throwing some big spanners in the works. If you've just come into the stream, give the video a like, subscribe if you're new, get a question in, put your FPL ID if you want your team rated into the comments. We're going to have a look at some predicted points now for Liverpool players over the next couple of game weeks. And then we're going to go to Everton. And then we're going to go to Villa, Spurs and Fulham, because I think they deserve some love. Yeah. I'd keep Gordon this week, mate. I think at home at St James's Park, you always play Gordon. And then you do that Kluivert move next week. We're going to bring your team ID up then in a second, mate. We'll have a quick look at these Liverpool players. You got Arnold, 9.4, Virgil, 7.7, Konate, 7.5. Let's go to Everton. Go to all positions. That was from the defenders for Liverpool. Pickford, 11.6. Ndai, 10.6. So even Ndai has got a better points, potential points than Moyes in these next couple. Let's have a look at some of the Fulham boys as well, because they might have a double game week, which a lot of people are forgetting about. It doesn't seem to be giving them much love in those double game weeks. I should have put Spurs in, shouldn't I? All right, we're putting Spurs in. It's taking too long. Yeah, I don't think it's fully got the double game weeks in the algorithm here because those points are too low. All right, enough of that. Let's rate a team. Let's rate PSB's team. All right. I'm going to talk through my strategy as well and what I like whilst we're rating PSB's team. All right. This definitely ain't my team anymore. I don't know whose team this is. All right. Let's go. PSB with a team ID of 20524. Okay, so basically what's happened is because there's the EFL Cup final, there would have been potentially blanks for Spurs, Liverpool, I think Aston Villa, Arsenal, Newcastle, depending on who makes the final. And because of Europe and that type of thing, there's going to be potential and scheduling. There's going to be double game week in 25, depending on who makes the cup final. So if Spurs make the cup final and Newcastle make the cup final, then there's going to be a double game week for Spurs and Fulham in game week 25. There won't be one for Newcastle because they're not in Europe, so they can reschedule theirs at another time. If Liverpool win against Spurs and go through, there'll be a double game week for Spurs and Aston Villa in game week 25. And then if Arsenal can overturn against Newcastle, which will throw a huge spanner in the works, then Arsenal will double. So yeah, there's just so much to think about. So this is PSB's team for game week 24. Sorry, mate, it doesn't bring up. Oh, there we go. Yeah, you're going to go manager. So it does do it. Brilliant. So you want to do it for game week 24. All right, this is awesome. So if you want your team rated by AI, including an assistant manager, and here it is. So, but you can't play Virgil. So he wants Virgil out. And we're going to go with Digne. Okay. So it's saying that, all right, we'll play. I don't think it's actually built it in here, which is annoying. Oh, well, we'll rate it based on this team, mate. So you've got 92.6 points predicted, 2.4 million in the bank, 93% game week rating. Got a team rating here of 100%. Overall, that's massive from the AI. All right, we'll make those transfers. Actually, that might change it. 89%. Maybe it's because it's taken out Van Dijk and put Digne there. And if you optimize it, puts Colwell in. Yeah, I get that. All right, let's go to your game week 25. Let's optimize your game week 25 team. %93% and 67.6. I don't think this is including the slot assistant manager, mate, which is frustrating, but good side, mate. It does look quite nice, doesn't it? There when you've got Digne and Konsa, and then you could go Isak. You're going to lose a fair bit of value, but you go Watkins. Keep the assistant manager in slot. Save that plan. Yeah, you got a lot of potential, mate, in this side. All right. I'm going to talk about. Here's a strategy I like. So, I'm just going to write it. I've got it written down. Okay, so triple captain Salah, game week 24, where we've already said on the toolbox in game week 24 Salah has a points prediction of 14.9 points. Slot has a points prediction of 13.1. So you're going to need to find a way to mitigate one or the other. If you activate Slot, you can't triple captain Salah. You can captain him, but you can't triple captain him. 2 tough away games, but if this algorithm's right, which it isn't always right, it's actually, you can be wrong quite a bit. But if it is right, you're getting more out of Salah than Slot this game week. You can then activate the assistant manager chip in game week 24 when we know if it's Liverpool through, if it's Spurs through, if it's Arsenal through, whoever's through. And it will give you that opportunity to then go to an Ange if Spurs win. I don't think we will, but if they do. Or a Silver, it gives you a lot of upside because Fulham will be playing Forest at home, which gives you a team 5 places or above. They'll be playing Spurs who are on a bad run. Or Spurs could be playing Fulham, who could be 5 places above Spurs at that point before the game week. Spurs could have their players back. They could win that game. Man United won there the other week at Fulham. You'll then get the Manchester United game at home for Spurs. Spurs have a good record against Manchester clubs. You can then flip it in game week 26, or you can keep it on Ange at Ipswich and have it ready for game week 27 against Man City. Spurs have a great record there. They're going to be 5 places above us. You're going to get a huge score of Spurs win, regardless of the clean sheet. Or Spurs don't go through. You don't use Marco Silva. You don't use Ange. You can then use Emery in game week 25, home to Ipswich. If Villa do win the game, you can get yourself between 8 to 10 points. Then they play Liverpool. And if they can win that game, you've got a huge ceiling of maybe 15 to 20 points is going to be in that one. And even if they draw it, you'll get those 5 points for it being for a team above 5 places for Villa, with the way they're looking in the table, and Liverpool going to still be top of the league at that point anyway. So I look at it as triple captain Salah game week 24, game week 25, assistant manager on Emery or Ange or Silva. Salah can then mitigate the assistant manager in game week 24 with at least 1 goal per game. Activate assistant manager on Emery or Ange in 25 using no transfer because you're activating it, so you don't need to use a transfer, equals a high ceiling. And then you don't leave your team scarce as well by activating the triple captain on Salah this week if Spurs or Arsenal are to win the cup. Because you may have been able to roll over a couple of transfers by not taking any hits and that type of stuff. So that's how I see it. But like I said before, it is very team dependent. If you're on 2 Liverpool players right now, bringing Slot in, it's hugely advantage for having your 3rd Liverpool player as well. If you're already with 3 Liverpool players right now, you might as well triple captain Salah. Good record at Bournemouth. He scored there before. He's got a hat-trick there down the years. He's got a couple of goals at Everton. But this is a different Bournemouth side. They are very, very strong. We've seen it over the last few weeks. Salah going to Brentford, Salah going to Forest, and just getting absolutely, pretty much marked out of most of the game. So there is that side of it that you could come out with a 2-pointer from Salah in this game against Bournemouth. Liverpool will win the game 2-0, and you're going to get a nice little, point out of, 1-1 it could be, or it could be 2, 1-0 Liverpool, and Salah comes out with 3 points, and Slot comes out with 10, and then Slot assistant managers are winning that way. And then Liverpool win against Spurs in the cup, and you're getting back-to-back assistant managers, and the chip's done, and you don't need to think about it, and you can then use it on another double game week down the track, the triple captain. So, there is that side to it. So lots to think about. But anyway, you're right, mate. It wasn't taken into account. You might even be better off, mate, if you're already assistant manager in, right? Not making a transfer if you haven't made one yet. And just leaving the team you got. You can have Slot, you can have Salah, you can have your third Liverpool player. Let's have a look at the predicted points of Gakpo. Even this, 9.7 points for Gakpo. It's only... I don't think this predicted points is for Slot, where it's saying he's going to have the predicted points of 13.1. I wonder if that's taken into account Maybe it's taken into account a draw against Bournemouth and a win against Everton. Yeah, it's a tough one. What's to stop Gakpo scoring a goal in both games, getting 8 points, 16 points? They draw against Bournemouth. They beat Everton. You're probably looking like for like there as well. I would not take a hit for Gakpo to slot. I just wouldn't. Yeah, see, that transfer makes sense, mate, because Pickford's just a good keeper to have from now to the end of the season. You could get a clean sheet out of the Leicester game and then even the Liverpool game. You could easily get 4 points with all the saves he makes as well. So, yeah, it's a real interesting one, isn't it? This assistant manager, triple captain, chip strategy, and lots to think about. But let's go back onto the assistant manager predicted points. So for those that have just tuned in, we've had a couple of new watchers. This algorithm does predict more points for Salah in game week 24 than it does slot. But it predicts more points for slot if Liverpool double in game week 25 than it does in game week 24. Tell you what, though, if Liverpool win these two games with clean sheets and Salah scores in both with bonus, say they're 1-0 either way, you probably think Slot and Salah are kind of like for like. But then if you've doubled up in Liverpool's defence, you're probably looking, it's probably kind of evening itself out all the way around. And we could end up seeing it cancelling itself out, to be honest. I think it's here with David Moyes where you're going to get the huge potential point swing if he can get a win against Liverpool. So, yeah, that's where it could be huge. But, yeah, we'll try and put Christian's team in. And then I'll probably look to end the stream because there is so much going on. We're not getting a huge amount of questions in the stream either. So I just wanted to come on and give my thoughts and my piece on what I think about the assistant manager, the triple captain. And to be honest, I don't think there's any right or wrong way. I do think it's true. Like, you are getting potentially 5 games up the assistant manager chip, which is huge. And even if Liverpool don't win this cup game against Spurs and you change it, it's where if you change it to Ange or Silva, you're going to get, you know, a big, big boost. All right. We'll see if this works. All right, mate. It doesn't look like it's going to be the correct ID, or is it? It is. Kinski. Bloody hell, mate. That could be a good pick, though, for the next game week. So you've got predicted points of 90.6, Gakpo, Salah, and Virgil. Team rating 100%. Let's optimize your team for this game week. Surely it's going to put Kulu in there. No, I don't think it will. So let's go to game week 25. See, the problem is you optimize this for game week 25. That's on the basis that Liverpool, Fulham, Spurs are all kind of doubling at the same time, which isn't what's going to happen. But you've got a nicely balanced team there, mate. I like it. All right, we'll wait and see if we get any more questions for this game week in the next few minutes. Who should I put in place of Noeti from Leicester? Let's have a think. Let's have a look. Let's bring him up on the screen for his predicted points. It's 4.7 million right now. How much do you have in the bank, mate? What do you have in the bank? Because that will definitely help. If I know how much you've got in the bank. Because if you're going like for like, there isn't really much out there, mate, to be honest. If you're going like for like, probably going to have to. Going like for like, you're probably going to have to go. You got 0.4 million. Okay, so it's about 4.9 mil. Yeah, it's quite scrappy. I'm having a look now. It's hard at that price range, mate. You know what's probably going to have to be David Brooks from Bournemouth, mate. He started the last 3, 4, 5 games. Get a good run out of him. Put him on the bench this week with the Liverpool game. You get a good run out of him after that, mate. He's been getting a couple of points here and there. But yeah, you're really scrapping around at that price point. If you can bench him, mate, and just keep the money, then yeah, I wouldn't really I wouldn't do too much else with it, mate, to be honest. All right. If there's no more questions that come in, we'll look to wrap up the stream. Yeah, please subscribe if you're new here and you enjoyed the channel. Give the video a like. You can check out all my content at FPLMattDay on Instagram, X, and TikTok. Good luck. If you've chose the assistant manager chip, if you've chose the free hit chip, if you chose the triple captain chip on Salah, or you may have decided, I don't want to play any chip this week. I want to wait and see what might happen in game week 20 over the next week in the EFL Cup. And I might want to use my triple captain potentially on Salah against Wolves and Villa in game week 25, or on Son against Man United and Fulham, or on Jimenez against Forest and Spurs. And you might want to just save it for that game week and then use your assistant manager chip at a later date. I think if you're one of those managers that's got maybe an Ndai, Pickford, Gakpo, Salah, Szoboszlai, Trent, you know, you've got kind of like those 3 of those Liverpool players and one or 2 of those Everton players. You might be able to get away with no chip and then use it in 25 with a triple captain as well. But hope you're good as well, mate. Thanks for saying hello and dropping into the stream. We're actually about to end this stream now. So I want to thanks to everyone that's tuned in. We'll give it another minute to see if anything does come in. The questions, which I don't think is going to happen. We have just had another watcher come in, but I don't think we're going to get any more questions from now until... Okay, that looks it. We will leave it at that. Thanks to everyone that's tuned in. I'm FPLMattDay. Appreciate everyone that's come in to follow the stream today. Good luck with whatever you decide to do. Big game week. And just like Zarada said, have a good one, everyone. Bye for now. I'll see you all next time.